This is Aaron Smith, Crop Marketing Specialist with University of Tennessee Extension. In this video, we will discuss hedge-to-arrive contracts, otherwise known as HTA contracts. An HTA contract is a contract that allows you to end up fixing the futures market price while leaving the basis to be established at a different time period. The final cash price received by the producer will be the HTA, or futures market price, plus the cash basis that is established later. There are two primary types of HTA contracts. One is a rolling HTA contract, the other is a non-rolling contract. It is important to understand which contract you have entered into with the grain purchaser. HTA contracts can be entered into at any time during the year. However, a lot of the time people will end up entering into them at the start of the production year or when the crop is in storage. The primary advantage to an HTA is to utilize an HTA when futures market prices are high. One of the major advantages of an HTA is, unlike a futures hedge, there's no margin requirements to end up executing the contract. Another major advantage of an HTA contract is it protects the producer against declines in the futures market price. Utilizing an HTA contract can be most beneficial if there's an expectation that the futures market price will decline or the basis will improve at a later date. A disadvantage of HTAs is if the futures prices are increasing, and it also leaves you with basis risk exposure. HTA contracts also require the delivery of the physical commodity, so the producer must meet the specified quantity and quality of the production that's to be delivered. When utilizing an HTA contract, it's important to determine the delivery date and when you will have to establish the basis price. When entering any contract, including an HTA, it is important to understand the terms and conditions of the contract so the producer is fully informed. To do so, make sure that you discuss with your grain elevator or grain buyer.
Hi, I'm John Brown with Tennessee Valley Commodities. So how do you use HTAs? HTA is a form of marketing to where you can sell a month, such as, let's use corn for example. You can sell September corn on the futures market with your local elevator or end user if they offer. You can do it could be called a futures only contract. So you lock in the futures with no basis set, no delivery time set. Although if you're doing September, it could be a September delivery. You have to make sure with whoever you're selling this to, their terms, and will they let you roll it. HTAs, one of the great benefits about HTA contracts is being able to roll them. You wanted to do a target order and just set the month futures only or the HTA versus September. So you sell that September month. So let's use some examples of where the HTA can be used. Let's say that as this year that we're in, there's a bumper crop of corn and we sell the September. Well, we can't hold all the corn, so some of the corn has to go to market. So we would take this HTA versus September and go ahead and utilize it either for August, Sep delivery, or maybe move it to December and use an October, November. If you move it to October, November, you'd be able to spread it to the December. And today, December is 15 cents higher. So you'd capitalize on that, moving it to the next month by gaining 15 cents. So let's look at a reason we may, let's just say that the next year we do a September and we're short corn. We don't have enough corn to sell any excess bushels to the local market. Maybe we want to hold all our bushels. So we would take that September HTA and we could roll it further out and gain more premium. So what happens if I've got an HTA on September and I haven't set the basis by the time it gets ready to roll, or what do I do? Well, in most cases, most elevators will probably roll it to them next month or end users, or they could call, usually they'll call you and ask, hey, are you going to deliver this? Do we know to go ahead and lock a basis in? Or maybe let's say that the basis got real good 2 months before that HTA. You can lock the basis in any time with that futures price. So it's not something that you can just wait till near the time of completion. You could do the HTA a year ahead and 6 months down the road, lock in a basis because you see a good basis to lock in with that HTA. HTAs, along with cash forward contracts, along with basis contracts, and there's many other contracts that can spot price contracts, different contracts you can use. Don't ever get totally committed to just one contract. Use different contracts. So how are fees arrived at on HTAs? Usually a fee is arrived by the months out you're doing it. So an HTA fee done 12 months out will cost more than an HTA fee done 2 months out. Again, that's the way we work HTAs, but a lot of different end users or grain elevators could do it totally different. So please consult your elevator, have a full understanding that you understand what kind of contract you're entering into on HTAs.
For additional information on HTA contracts, talk to your local UT extension or an elevator in your area.